Hey guys, it's time for our last part of Learning with a Little Tweet for today, and it's going to be science. So, yesterday we started talking about a new kind of animal, amphibians. That's a big word. We're going to keep learning about amphibians. It is Tuesday, May 5th. We're working on day 25 lessons. All you need today is a blank piece of paper and a pencil. That's it. So if you need to if you need to run somewhere and grab those, you can go ahead and pause the video. If not, just stay put. All right, guys, let's get started with talking about amphibians. Now, I don't have any amphibian stuffed animals to show you, but I do have those little amphibians in a tank behind my house that I showed you yesterday. Not the frog. We let the tree frog go. But the little tadpoles will be frogs someday. And since I took that video that I showed you yesterday, they have transformed even more. So I want to show you guys a video of what they look like now. All right, I accidentally deleted the video from my phone, so I'm going to have to show you on the computer. Okay, guys, here's a little update on our tadpoles. I caught one. They're getting really hard to catch. They're getting really speedy. But look at this guy. You can really see those legs now. And I don't know if you can see from this, well, look how fast he is. Doesn't he look more like a frog? I don't know if you can see from this video, but it's getting blurry. His head and face is starting to look more like a frog and doesn't look so much like a tadpole. Look at those legs. Next, I think we're going to notice that his tail begins to shrink. So cool. Isn't that so cool? Those legs are getting so big, you guys. I can't wait until they turn into little frogs. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. I promise I'll show you when they turn into little frogs. I hope it works out. So let's review what we've learned about amphibians. I am not an amphibian expert, guys, but what I remember about amphibians is that they have to keep their skin wet, right? Because they use their skin to breathe. They do have lungs and they use their lungs to breathe too, but their lungs are really small. So they breathe through their skin also. Oh, hello. I have a visitor. We're learning about amphibians.
Cool.
Neo's sleeping up there. So what was I saying? Oh my. Amphibians live near water and they can go in the water and they can go out of the water. They also are oviparous. Do you guys remember what that means?
Nope. I don't know.
Avery says no, but we know, I think, by now, because we've talked about it a lot, that oviparous means that they hatch from eggs. They lay eggs, and then that's where the babies come from. They hatch out of eggs. Let's see what else. I have to look at our notes from yesterday. So it says they begin their life in the water, and as they grow, they move to the land. They have tails, smooth or rough skin, and dry or wet skin. So I guess maybe they don't have to keep their skin wet. I guess tree frogs don't, but I feel like in the video it told us they needed to keep their skin wet. Okay, so can you think of a kind of amphibian besides a frog? That's a tough one. There aren't that many kinds of amphibians, but we will talk about some other kinds. So stay tuned. All right, let's take a look at our assignment for today. It says there are all kinds of amphibians. I don't think there's quite as many amphibians as there are mammals, for example, and different kinds of fish and different kinds of reptiles, and different kinds of birds. But you know what? Maybe I just haven't learned about them yet. Use a T-chart to write 2 ways salamanders and frogs are alike and 2 ways they are different. So the amphibians that I'm thinking of are frogs, toads, which are very similar to frogs, and then salamanders. And I'm wondering if you guys even really know a lot about salamanders, because I don't. So I was thinking we could watch a little video about salamanders before we do this activity.
The world of amphibians is very diverse and intriguing, with over 7,000
Sorry, guys. I gotta work on my volume. Sorry. Here we go.
unique species recognized across the world. Most of these are frogs and toads, but the second largest portion is salamanders. These adorable critters look like a cross between a lizard and a frog, but their physical appearance is only one of the many awesome features of these animals. Now, as amphibians, salamanders must remain moist at all times. Some species, such as Amphiuma or hellbenders, spend almost their entire lives in the water, but others, like spotted salamanders, are commonly found under logs far away from a water source. On a recent adventure to the Blue Ridge Mountains, I was able to find a plethora of different species near a small creek. These ancient mountains actually have the highest diversity of salamander species of any habitat in the world.
Oh my goodness, did you hear that, guys? Okay, the Blue Ridge Mountains, do you know where those are? Those are in North Carolina. And do you know what they're saying? That there are more different kinds of species of salamanders in the North Carolina Blue Ridge Mountains than in the whole world. Pretty cool.
Something that many people don't know. Now, all salamanders have one thing in common. They are carnivores. Although small and adorable, these amphibians prey on insects, spiders, and occasionally even smaller salamanders. They do not have any special method of eating their prey, opting to overpower and swallow meals whole. But what they lack in offensive tactics, they make up for in their defense. Hiding under rocks and logs during the daytime hours is the most common predator-avoiding tactic, and if they happen to get caught in the open, it is usually by a water source that they can retreat into. Even when all of the above fail, many salamanders secrete mildly to severely toxic compounds from glands in their tails or near their heads as a last resort to deter a predator. Scientists have even witnessed a recently eaten newt crawl back out of the mouth of a bullfrog who was killed by the poison in less than a minute.
Okay, so you guys, some of these salamanders can be poisonous, but they wouldn't be poisonous to people, but they can be poisonous to a predator who tries to eat them. Now, he said a different word. He said newt. Do you guys remember when we learned about the letter N? And our N word was newt. Newt, I think, is just another word for salamander. Pretty cool.
Unfortunately, while salamanders are excellent at defending themselves against natural foes, they have little protection against human-caused perils. As amphibians, these animals have extremely sensitive skin, and so are highly susceptible to many common water pollutants, such as household cleaners, sediment runoff from construction sites, and petroleum products.
Okay, we're going to stop there, but basically what that was saying is that it's easy for them to get sick, so it's really important that their water stays very clean, and sometimes some of the chemicals that people use can pollute their water and it can make them really sick. Okay, that's enough information about salamanders. Let's go ahead and do our assignment. All right, so we're supposed to talk and think about some of the things that are the same and different between frogs and salamanders. Both of them are kinds of amphibians, right? So they're definitely going to have some things in common. So I took my blank piece of paper and I drew a line down the middle, and I put an S over here for same and a D over here for different. You guys, when it's time for you to do your activity, you can do the same thing. So draw a line down the middle, S for same, D for different. Let's take a look at these two pictures. Now, here's something a little tricky. There are lots and lots of different kinds of frogs, and they all, a lot of them look very, very different. Same thing with salamanders. There are different kinds of salamanders, and they all look very different too. So just because I picked a picture of a frog that's green and a salamander that has spots, that doesn't mean that we can say that frogs are green and salamanders have spots, so therefore they look different. These two particular ones do look different, but really we just have to think about other characteristics besides, all the specific colors and details of how they look, because that varies so much depending on the frog species or the salamander species. So let's look at these two pictures and think about what we know about frogs and salamanders. Can you think of something about them that is the same? Do you know, little tweet? Well, I know we learned that all amphibians need to live near the water, and we learned that about salamanders just now too. It's really important that they live near the water. So that's something I might put over here with same. Now remember, you don't have to write complete sentences. You can just write a list. Their feet look very similar. Look at those feet. I'm noticing that their feet looks very similar and their skin looks kind of similar. They don't have any fur or hair, right? And their skin looks like kind of smooth. And I know the salamander's skin looked really wet when we saw it. Now, something that I'm noticing that's different is the salamander has a long tail. I also know that these animals move differently, right? How does a frog move? How does a salamander move? And they might eat, well, actually, you know what? I think they eat similar things too. We learned in the video what salamanders eat. I think they eat similar things as well. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys work on that. So remember your task, I totally lost it. Don't know where it went, but I think you're supposed to write, all right, y'all, I lost it. But I think you're supposed to, oh, here it is. Yep, here it is. It was on the floor. You're supposed to write 2 ways that salamanders and frogs are the same and 2 ways that they are different. You may pause the video on these pictures. We are all done for today. Awesome job. I am super, super proud of you. Little Tweet is proud of you. Flat Mrs. Hill is proud of you. Whoever just walked into the room, Owen, is proud of you, right, Owen?
Yeah.
Yes. And your own teachers are proud of you too. Good job. Give yourselves a pat on the back and a hug. Oof. Oh, thanks, buddy. And oh, do not hit your mama. Do not hit your mama. All right, let me finish my video. I think he needs some mama time. All right, give yourself a high five, thumbs up, say, I rock. You really do rock. Don't forget to save your papers to turn into your teacher or take a picture for your teacher. And if you're in my class and your parents think you did an awesome job, don't forget to glue on your little tweet. Okay, guys, see you later.